HaPijamot, HaPijamot Hebrew, HaPijamot apiઃdʒamot, lit. The Pajamas is a sitcom on Israeli television about a struggling band determined to make it in the real world. The show ran on Arutz HaYeladim, the kids' channel, and Channel 2 Keshet. Background: the show follows the misadventures of three friends, Ilan, Kobai, and Oded, as they move from Netanya to Tel Aviv to launch their band. Unlike many shows, the characters in the show are aware that they are on television. The show features their day-to-day lives. A major aspect of the show is HaPijamot HaLevin, the white screen, where cast members talk to the viewers. Gary also talks to the viewers when he is alone, often complaining about his wife or just his life in general. There are several interactive episodes, such as an episode which the viewers can fast forward or rewind to decide the outcome of the episode, an episode which the viewers can record ringtones, and an episode with a cheaper form of scratch and sniff. The show always ends with Keshet Kellam washing the dishes. The characters washing the dishes for Gary and summarize the episode. Seasons. First series, Season 1-3. The first season of the show debuted on 1 July 2003 and included 23 episodes. The season ended in a special episode called My Favorite Episode. Because the show attracted a large number of viewers, the kids' channel decided to order another 2 seasons, which were written and filmed together. The second season debuted on 28 March 2004 and included 19 episodes. That season ended with a special episode called The Gold Pajamas. The third season of the show premiered on 1 July 2004. The season ended with 2 special episodes, a documentary episode called Only the Truth, and a trivia contest about the third season called This, That, or That This. After the third season ended, the kids' channel decided to stop the series because Alona Tal had left for the US and the trio filmed a new show on the music channel. Second series, Season 4. A year later, the kids' channel decided to film a new season in response to high VOD viewing numbers. Alona Tal stayed in the US but guest starred in 5 episodes, and the production team picked Yamit Saul to effectively replace her. Yuval Segal, who played Ilan's cousin in 3 episodes in Season 2, joined the main cast. This season debuted on 13 August 2006 and included 25 episodes. Third series, Season 5. In December 2007, Kids Channel ordered another season. Dana Frieder joined the cast for Yuval Segal, who went to study acting in New York, and Yamit Saul was absent in many episodes due to her psychology studies. Ili Curran Asaf was absent in many episodes too. She was drafted to the Army. The season was the longest to date, with 36 episodes. It debuted on 1 September 2008. Fourth series, Season 6-7. Several months later, the kids' channel ordered 2 more seasons. They were written between January and March 2010. The 6th season began to air on 1 September 2010. These seasons include 25 episodes each. Yuval Segal returned to the main cast. The 7th season aired on 1 September 2011 and included 25 episodes. That season ended on 9 October 2011. 5th series, Season 8-9. HaPijamot was renewed for 2 more seasons. The 8th season aired on 19 May 2013. The 9th season aired on 4 January 2015. Characters. Main. Ilan Rosefeld. Ilan is the keyboard player of the band and writes a majority of the songs. His main interest is girls, and many episodes involve him trying to get a date, but eventually everything goes wrong. His catchphrase is, "What do I need all this for? Let's just pack up our bags and move back to Netanya." Oded is the drummer for the band. He is very dim-witted, but he's the luckiest person in the show. He works at the hamburgery and often irritates Gary. His catchphrase is "Gotta go, gotta go." Yaakov Kobai is the guitarist of the band, is always hungry and eats almost anytime he can. He is Gary's nephew and Ronnie's cousin. He can change clothes remarkably fast, so he has many identities, including Naji Kamruddin Jackson, an Iraqi who is supposedly the chairman of the Association for Apartment Management. He takes advantage of an elderly woman, Ms. Braca, and always eats at her house. Gershon Gary Mendelbaum Yaniv Polishuk Gary is the owner of the Hamburgery, a burger joint with apparently inedible food. His hot dogs can make someone faint, throw up, or supposedly die since they are made of Fimo. He is Kobai's uncle and Oded's employer. He hates life and is constantly troubled by his wife Shifra and his daughter Ronnie. Apart from Ronnie, Gary also has triplets named Poli, Sheikh, and Gavri, the names of the three members of Keshet HaHiver, an Israeli comedy group who also annoy him. During the last season, Gary discovered Wikipedia and tries to change history by editing his and other sitcom characters' pages on his magic laptop. Gary every time saying, "Why?" when the situation returns to normal condition. Ronnie Mendelbaum Ili Curran Asaf Ronnie is Gary's daughter and thinks badly of her father due to his ignorance. She is referred to as annoying, but she is very talented and usually much smarter than any other character in the show. She always forces Gary to give her money. Alona Tal is the background vocalist and percussionist in the band. She is the threesome's neighbor, and they are always fighting over her. Alona Tal is a regular cast member in the first, second, and third seasons and makes guest appearances in the fourth and fifth seasons. Yamit Sol effectively replaces Alona in the fourth and fifth season, despite officially not replacing Alona. She has her own agenda and is not just the pretty face of the series. She plays percussion and is a background vocalist in the band in the fourth season. In the fifth season, she lives with Dana and learns psychology. Nathan Kuperman Yuval Segal Nathan is Alan's cousin from Beersheba and the band's temporary DJ. He shows up a couple of times in the second season and eventually becomes a main character in the fourth season. He is emotional and cries very loudly when he is either happy or sad. Dana Frieder is Shifra's niece and joins the show in the fifth season. However, she doesn't replace Yamit, as they both star in the fifth season. Yamit has a smaller part in the fifth season. According to the show, she went to learn psychology and won't have as much time to run around with the gang. She actually studied psychology while the fifth season was being filmed. The characters often mention the fact that Dana Frieder was in Naled Lurka Born to Dance, which aired on Israeli television from 2005 to 2008 and did commercials for the Israeli shampoo brand Muikef Hebrew for very fun. Dana always clarifies to them that they don't even have the right to fantasize about dating with her. Shifra Shifra is Gary's wife. Gary is always complaining about her and claims she is very, very fat and ugly. Whenever she calls Gary, she always complains to him and gives him a lot of chores. She doesn't let him speak, and Gary always starts words without finishing. Shifra is never seen in the show except for one episode when the young Shifra is seen in some flashbacks Lucky Gum. She is also seen in a spin-off, Mendelbaum Private Detective. Recurring Mr. Avraham Latin Simon Rosefeld Mr. Latin is introduced a side character in the fourth season. He is an old man that lives in the same building as the others. He is deaf, and whenever someone talks to him, he responds by saying what. He is played by Alan's real-life father. Ms. Braca Kirstenberg Rivkager Braca is an elderly woman who owns the building and hates everyone in it. She calls the threesome Afrikaner hooligans. She is in love with Naji Jackson, one of Kobai's characters, and always allows him to eat at her house. She is the head of the Mossad, according to the episode Shem Codmustache Secrets. Ruby Duniz is the show's director. He appears many times in the fourth, Badish Native a Soul in the Devil. He was the producer of Gary and Oded Menesh's band. He first appeared in the first season, when he tried to trick Alan and convince him to join in shting Alan the first star and Alan the second star. In the fourth season, he represented Mr. Latin in his prosecution against the Pajamas. Fourth season, first episode. Appears in 4 episodes in season 5 and in 3 episodes in season 6. Albert R.A. Cherner renovated the Hamburgery and the trio's home in the 4th, 5th, and 6th seasons. Shimon Tizimhoni Neuron Tizimhoni is Gary's arch enemy. Ever since they competed for a student council election, they started an endless feud. He appears twice in the 3rd season, twice in the 4th season, in 3 episodes in the 5th season, and twice in the 6th season. In the 3rd season, he and Gary competed for the position of mayor. In the 4th season, he tried to buy the Hamburgery. In the 5th, he opened a business called Tizimha Burger, in Hebrew Vegaburger, to compete with Gary's, and in the 6th season, he met Gary in the prison. Malka Kuperman Effie Ben is Israel Alan's aunt and the owner of the trio's apartment. She didn't live in Israel because she's in a delegation of the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs to Poland. She doesn't know that Oded and Kobai live in the apartment, so every time she's visiting Alan, Kobai and Oded need to find somewhere to stay overnight. She appears twice in the show, in the 2 last episodes of the 1st season and in the 1st episode of the 6th season. Kobai's characters. Freddie. Nice to meet Freddie is the band's manager/impresario. He tends to involve issues unrelated to the original topic of conversation, which causes confusion and agreement among those around him, and sometimes even arouses fear in the rule of his threatening speech. Freddie is one of the only personality splits Kobai has who can take over Kobai on their own. Eddie's brother, Naji Kamruddin Jackson, an elderly man of Iraqi descent with a heavy accent. He introduces himself as the chairman of the Housing Culture Association, which ostensibly came to help his neighbor Braca Kirstenberg, but actually using this to make her stop complaining about the threesome noise when making music. That becomes very rare since they start doing their rehearsals in Gary's basement. He also uses Ms. Braca to eat when he is hungry, but Ms. Braca falls in love with him. Often swears a lot with an Iraqi dialect. Along with Freddie can take over Kobe on his own. Marcel Furo Poirot, a policeman, based on the fictional character Hercule Poirot. He appears when crimes occur or when investigations are needed. Manny's brother. Sababa Sali Rabbi, a parody on the Baba Sali. Often mumbles unclear, confused and meaningless sentences, and at the end highlights the word Sababa. Sababa Sali tends to greet everyone around him or swear if necessary. His prayers also contain quotes from songs. Eddie. Good to see Freddie's gay brother. He says name like Hebrew for I feel comfortable, but used as I'm pleased as a response to someone else's pleased to meet you. Dancer, choreographer, and producer of small productions. Began to appear in the 2nd season, when it became necessary to invent a softened version of Freddie in order to communicate with Nathan optimally. Mayor Einstein, a parody of sports and radio broadcaster Mayor Einstein, has a ponytail that covers his eyes and usually walks around with a comb that also serves as a microphone. Appears as a broadcaster of low-importance sports events. Started appearing in the 2nd season. Broadcaster with an obsession to comb his hair. Yehoram Zuber-Bueller, a television broadcaster from the early days of television in Israel, speaks pure but anachronistic Hebrew and his character is presented in black and white. Yehoram appears as a news broadcaster without any news team around him. The announcer of the only channel. He usually shouts his last name. Joined in the 6th season. Manny Pyre, an excellent and talented chef and the brother of Marcel, changed his last name from Poirot to Pira. Appeared for the 8th season, in which also aired an episode trilogy, in which he received a show of his own. Is known for saying licked it on the weight of licked it. The only personality split in the history of the series that brought Kobai to a fixed period of fame at the cost of a conflict with his friends. Shows up when Kobai is on the TV show Mr. Chef Master Chef parody. becomes a superstar when the group decides to give him an online show to promote the band. Dora, a combination of Naji and Dora, a new character in season 6, appears only in 3 episodes. She has a monkey friend named Butchak Boots in the original series, who is played by Nathan. Episodes